Fasten your chin strap and put your pads on. Get a grip on the bat, here comes a fastball. We ain't going one and done, we're here to last long. This the top of the standards, get ready to blast off. Alright, let's do this. Bang! Bang! Every Sunday afternoon, big sports fanatics coming out your speakers like a piston running with magic. Game time status good to go is automatic. Ready for the blowouts and the instant classics. Calling all the teachers, all the fathers and the mothers. Calling all the kids, all the sisters and the brothers. Dynamic high schoolers in the game like no other preseason. Game 7s, hey, y'all know we got it covered. From the finals to the Super Bowl to the World Series to the Stanley Cup final. Over here we spit it clearly. Andrew Hale and Jotham Israel coming with the hottest topics. Hey, you know what's up with sports. People wanting it, we got it. Yeah, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on.
Yeah, top of the standards. That's what it's about, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, season 2 is here, baby. Yes, Jotham Israel and Andrew Hale, we're back and better than ever. Yes, we got a ton of sports to talk about, as always. And yes, I can rap. I produced the song, I wrote the lyrics, and I rapped it. That is my voice. Yes, you guys better believe it. But before we get started...
Have you ever wanted to create a podcast? Well, if your answer is yes, then download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right now. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Here, let me explain. It's free. Yes, free. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many others. Yes, you heard that right. It's that simple to get your voice heard around the world right now. There's also creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer to truly make your podcast perfect. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And lastly, get this, you can make money with no minimum listenership. Who doesn't like money? It doesn't get easier than Anchor, so again, head on over to your phone's app store and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. To start this episode, Jotham, I think we need to take a 2-minute moment of silence in memory of Matthew Stafford's time with the Lions and all he has done for the franchise in the city of Detroit. I think it's only right. So to start off this episode, I need to bring it out one last time for the 2-minute moment of silence. Let's go. Thank you, Matthew Stafford, for all you've done for my childhood and my Lions fandom. I appreciate it. And on that note, football, the Super Bowl is a few weeks away. I'm excited.
Feels like just months ago when I had to cut all my facial hair off because of Mahomes. But you know what? We're here again. I'm happy. I mean, we already made our picks. I'm picking the Bills. You're picking the Chiefs. We're both picking the Bucks, even though that's a major question without Antonio Brown now. But hey, Conference Championship Sunday is Conference Championship Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping we get 2 exciting games. There's a chance that we don't, but I really hope we do. And I will just say, I hope the Bills can win their first Super Bowl. They deserve it. The city of Buffalo deserves it, but they're gonna have to get over, a tough opponent in the Chiefs. If they can do that, I think they'll have a good chance. But I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, you know what? If the Bills do find a way to pull this off, it's going to be pandemonium in Buffalo. Let's just get that out the way, because you beat the Colts, relatively, decent, historically good franchise. Then you beat the Baltimore Ravens, which literally is a franchise built off of defense. pretty good historical franchise as well, even though they haven't existed for centuries like other teams. Then you would beat the dynasty in the making in the Kansas City Chiefs. And how about beating Tom Brady in the Super Bowl after getting torched by him for 2 decades in the AFC East? That would be the perfect scenario for the Buffalo Bills. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of COVID problems in New York, but just imagine if they win that Super Bowl. Those cases are going to rise, but I mean, hey, I guess you'll put anything on the line if your team wins the Super Bowl, if you even get there. It's crazy. It's real crazy.
Yeah, and a guy, there's a guy that cleared himself from cancer. He's a Bills fan, and he's celebrated by breaking a table that said cancer on it. I thought that was pretty cool. And you know what? That might be the Bills might just win the Super Bowl because of that.
Hey, I would not be surprised. I love it, Bills fans. Keep doing you.
Oh yeah, please do it. I want to see the tears. I want to see the absolute pandemonium. I'm here for it. But yeah, there's been a lot of action outside of the conference championships, though.
Yeah.
A lot of movements, like the one you just mentioned, Matthew Stafford being we don't know, traded or released. I hope he just gets traded and not released, because that would just be bogus for Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, what's next for the future, man? I mean, you know this team much better than I do. What's next?
Well, I hope they kind of trade him to I wouldn't say non-playoff team, because I do hope he goes to a winner, but I do hope they get something in return as well. Like, I think it would be cool for him to go to the Saints, because I think he would be put automatically in a situation where he can succeed. Same with the Colts. But let's say he goes to a team like the Texans. No, I would hate that for him, because he's essentially going back to another dumpster fire. I mean, I really hope the Lions can find a trade that, helps both teams. But you know how the Lions are. I mean, hey, they already have connections with the Saints. I mean, their head coach and defensive coordinator both coming from the Saints. So I'm excited for the future of the Lions. I really do hope that Matthew Stafford can find a new and successful home. It's sad though. My entire life I grew up watching Matthew Stafford, the only quarterback I ever knew, who leads the entire Lions franchise in almost every single important stat there is. They're finally parting ways, dude. It's so sad, but it's necessary though.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That's a whole 282 touchdowns and over 45,000 yards of passing. Oh my gosh, it felt like forever. I was talking about it with my dad. He's like, "Hey John, how long Matthew Stafford been there?" I said, "He's only been there since '09. He's not Roethlisberger, Manning, and Rivers old yet, but he's been in Detroit for a whole decade now." It's just like, dang.
And you look at his stats too. I mean, he has broken records. I mean, I think he's around the same amount of touchdowns, and with those touchdowns, the least amount of interceptions, right around the amount that Aaron Rodgers is, which is crazy. Just imagine if he was in a winning situation, he would be probably up there as being one of the best quarterbacks of all time, stat-wise. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you know what? What happens if Stafford gets a ring elsewhere?
First year, I would kind of be sad, but hey, if he does it, I'll be happy, because it's similar to the Justin Verlander situation with the Tigers and the Astros. I mean, you go to the Astros your first year and then you win a ring. That's like, so we couldn't do that for your entire career in Detroit, but you leave one year and you finally get that ring. So it's like that. It's kind of bittersweet, I suppose. But Matthew Stafford, I do hope he gets a ring. I really do. But it'd be a little bit sad first year.
Okay. So you would feel better about it third year away from Detroit than the next season.
Yeah, I would probably say that would be accurate. Maybe even second year, but like first year, you immediately jump into a new franchise and then you're already a Super Bowl winner. That'd be just crazy to me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's one situation, but man, we're starting to see all the pieces kind of crumble together. I mean, the Detroit Lions really had a very interesting week. I mean, you had that, and then you had Dan Campbell going off
Yeah.
on his press conference. I gotta say that dude was juice. Was he not?
I mean, when was the last time you actually saw passion and excitement from a new Lions coach? I've never seen it.
I don't think I have either.
He I mean, there's a video. I don't know if you saw it, but the moment he returned to his practice field, where he spent his 2006 to 2008, career playing in Detroit. The moment he returned to their practice field and their facility for the first time, he kind of broke down in tears because he was so happy he got the job. So if that doesn't prove to you that he wants a winner in Detroit, I don't think anything will.
I'm gonna have to go play Madden '07 or something and look at the rosters.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I mean, I knew he played. I know he's not that old, obviously, but the fact that he played for the Lions and now he's coaching the Lions, that's dope. And I mean, what better guy to bring this franchise back into what's the word? Relevance or winning or
good.
yeah. I'm sorry, but I mean, what better guy to bring the franchise back?
I know, and
that guy.
I kind of this hire was kind of confusing to a lot of I guess non really like diehard football fans, because think about it. I mean, you're hiring a tight ends coach, assistant head coach, a non-play caller. So a lot of fans are like, why did they do that? There's still Eric Bieniemy out there. But if you think about it, did you see what the Titans did the other year, hiring Mike Vrabel? A non-play caller, a guy who can rally the players, rally the troops, really get them motivated to go out there every single Sunday and compete. I think that's what the Lions are trying to do. They're trying to, create a new culture, because what we saw from Matt Patricia and all the players wanting to leave. They traded literally their team captain and Quandre Diggs, obviously Darius Slay, and a lot of other players did not enjoy playing for him. So I think a lot of players will be motivated to play for Dan Campbell. I mean, hey, you also got a good defensive coordinator in Aaron Glenn from the Saints as well, who was their DB's coach, alongside obviously Dan Campbell, who was the tight ends coach, assistant head coach. Aaron Glenn, he coached Jeff Okudah in high school, so there's already a connection there. It was a good hire for the Lions as well. But then you also got Anthony Lynn as an OC, who obviously has head coaching experience, play calling experience that can help Dan Campbell hopefully succeed right away.
Man, this is gonna be interesting, man. I mean, it sucks that Anthony Lynn got fired from the Chargers. I was kind of scratching my head at that move, but you know what? Hey, this is it. That's kind of a steal in my opinion, because I think Anthony Lynn's a pretty good coach. That year he took the Chargers to the playoffs, almost got them home field advantage. That was a very good year for the Chargers. Obviously, they've been down in the dumps, but come on, man, you can't tell me the Chargers haven't been riddled with injuries, stuff like that. They've been held back, and it's just like, I mean, what was a coach supposed to do? I know they say next man up, but man, can we get our men back? Can we get our normal men back?
Yeah.
And it never happened. So had to go.
I agree. I think the hire is fantastic, and then it's also interesting because he actually wanted to come to Detroit. He got a lot of offers elsewhere for the OC job, but he wanted to come to Detroit. I think the reason is because Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator, Dan Campbell, their head coach, they both played in Dallas together, and that's Anthony Lynn coached in Dallas, so he coached them both, which is interesting as well. So I think it's best when you want coaches to come to your city and coach for your team. I mean, we kind of saw it with Matt Patricia, in my opinion. I don't think he ever wanted to come to Detroit, because look where he's back now. He's back in New England coaching for whatever he's doing there. So
yeah, I know it's personal with Matt Patricia.
Think about it. He wasted 3 years of Matthew Stafford. His last 3 years in Detroit under Matt Patricia. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, that's pretty bad, dude. I mean, what can you do? Oh wait, well, pencil head, maybe work out a little bit, not maybe stop tearing your Achilles. I don't know, man. That was just a joke of a tenure, man. But hey, looking forward to the draft, seeing what the Lions do with their picks and stuff, and we'll get to it, man. I mean, really, really the Lions are the headliners when it comes to franchises that are doing interesting stuff in the offseason, although Jaguars aren't really that far behind, hiring Urban Meyer, all these guys trying to build a super team in the form of a coaching staff or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it goes well, but we've kind of seen, when coaches transition from college to the pros, there's a lot of times where it doesn't work out. So I don't know how long Urban's going to be there. Hopefully I wouldn't be mad if Jacksonville was successful.
Really? You wouldn't?
No, I mean, they haven't really done much, but they do have, playoff wins. So, I mean,
yeah. Put them against the Steelers again. They have their number.
Yeah, do it. I mean, even if the Steelers even get there now, who knows?
Oh yeah, that's another one, bro. These fools really signed Dwayne Haskins, and I'm not saying that Dwayne Haskins doesn't deserve to be signed again, or I'm mad that he signed again. No, bro, you already have a messed up enough quarterback situation with Ben Roethlisberger give you a $41 million hit cap, and then you're getting them backed up by Mason Rudolph, who was supposed to be your quarterback of the future. So now what?
Dude, don't ask me. I mean, I don't know what the Steelers are doing. You and I are not the biggest believers on Haskins for, obvious reasons, off the field problems, but also I just really don't think he is on the level of some other younger quarterbacks, in my opinion. I mean, hey, if he succeeds, he succeeds. I mean, I guess we'll have to see how the signing goes, but it's pretty interesting to me. It's probably low risk, high reward, in my opinion.
Yeah, but my thing is, what do you do with Ben Roethlisberger?
And he said he wants to come back.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what do you do with Roethlisberger? Dude is worth $41 million this year, and you got Dwayne Haskins, for 1 year. Okay, what happens if Ben is actually done next year? And you just wasted 1 year of Dwayne Haskins. Well, you just created all that drama for nothing. And what? You're gonna release Dwayne Haskins? You're gonna bump up Mason Rudolph? Or you're gonna trade and draft up for a quarterback or something? I don't understand this frame. And that's why when the Steelers lost to the Browns, that shifted the entire balance of the AFC North for years to come. Because man, Steelers are in a messed up situation with that quarterback, man. And you know what? It sucks because their defense is a gold mine. When healthy, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You can barely ask for a better defense than the healthy Steelers defense. Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
But you know what? Very similar to the Bears. No quarterback, no success.
Hey, that's a fair comparison.
Hey, but you know what? I'm here for it. Let's see the Brownies and the Bengals step up, man. I want to see it. Browns versus AFC Championship 2025. Let's get it.
Yeah, the Bengals' longest, losing streak in the playoffs, 30 years. Hopefully they can get a win with Joe Burrow whenever he comes back.
Oh, yeah. You just got to bring up hope. But you know what? Deshaun Watson tore his ACL rookie year, and came back, and look where he is now. Superstar quarterback. Hopefully, Joe Burrow doesn't have dysfunction within the Bengals franchise like the Texans do with Deshaun Watson, that's very unlikely because they seem to have I won't say all the pieces they need, but the foundation set. But man, you know what, Joe Burrow, hey, we just gotta watch out because man, that AFC North, that's going to be a very interesting quarterback division. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very.
It really is.
All right, dude. Let me talk about some college basketball real quick because there's more mayhem. More mayhem, dude. Dude, we're picking up right where we left off with these top 5 teams losing to unranked opponents.
Hey, I mean, Kansas, 3 in a row. I mean, I really, from the beginning of the year, I don't think they were that good. I mean, they've had close calls all season. I can't remember a time they've really dominated their opponent. Sure, they might have some, lopsided wins, but truly dominate their opponent, it hasn't happened much this season. And I think they're showing their true colors now, losing 3 straight. They have not looked great.
I remember when they got dominated by another team, KX's, hook 'em. And yeah, dude, that was. I mean, I think the balance is shifting. I think the balance of power is shifting a little bit in the Big 12. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Baylor had a close game yesterday as well. So there's it's up in the air.
Yeah, and the thing was, I didn't expect that game to be that close without Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
The Cowboys didn't have Cade, and they still kept it close. So that makes me think.
Tank for Cade, Pistons.
Yeah, dude, these teams are starting to get a little sus, if you ask me.
Hey,
But you know what?
It's college basketball.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. It's college basketball. Perfect reasoning.
Yeah, I mean, every year it's crazy.
You know what? I didn't even know this game was going on. I really want to talk about this. I didn't even know this game was going on until I was just flipping through channels. I seen Indiana beat Iowa on the road by double digits. I'm like, whoa, wait, what?
I don't know what Iowa is doing, because we know how good they can be. We know how dominant they can be. But then they have some interesting, questionable, close games and, losses. So are they really that good? I don't know. Are they really, are they bad? I don't think so, but it's interesting. It really is.
Yeah, I'm not used to seeing Iowa with all those shooters shoot 38.1% from the field and 21% from 3. Yee, that was bad, bro. I'm like, yo, Indiana. I mean, they're below mediocre. They're like right on the cusp of mediocrity.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not that good, but they can beat the good teams, and it's just like, I don't know. That was a bad loss, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all I gotta say is, when are we gonna see Michigan State again, dude? It's almost been 3 weeks since they've last played. Ever since I called them out for being bad, they haven't played. They're scared. I'm kidding. Dude, COVID problems and are, I mean, I guess they've always been in college basketball, but now teams are really getting affected. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? This has been, I mean, like I said, we could be upset because, I mean, this seems like so long ago, but, I mean, do you just see how Florida just broke the brakes off of Tennessee? Tennessee, sneakily getting into that top 10. They ranked number 6. I'm like, okay, let me see what this Tennessee team is made of.
Yeah, I mean, year in and year out, they're going to be pretty decent. I mean, hey, this is the 2021's SEC is wide open this year, so, I mean, I guess, who knows, maybe Auburn can make a run. Who knows? I mean, we saw what they did the other year. I think anything can happen in the SEC. SEC is wide open.
Yeah, with Sharif Cooper back a little bit, we can get a little wiggle room. Obviously, SEC is, I don't know. I mean, Missouri just beat Tennessee last night, so Hey, we gonna have a lot of pre-March Madness mayhem, if you ask me.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope we do.
Oh yeah, you know what? I gotta say, I know of one happy Buckeye right now because the Ohio State is starting to get really hot right now, and they just beat Wisconsin. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't know about the Big Ten anymore. I really don't know about the Big Ten anymore.
It's kind of similar because every team is like Iowa. They can be really good. We know how good these teams can be, and then they'll have like a bad loss, and then a 2-game losing streak, and then they'll win some impressive game, and then go back. So I think every Big Ten team's a little bit inconsistent. I think everyone is really good, and they could definitely make some noise in March Madness. But it's interesting. It seems like everyone's so inconsistent.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, you see these teams at their best. Like, I'm thinking El Dusumu and Kofi Cockburn, it's just like, okay, that's a nasty duo. They both coming back. senior year or something like that. And I'm just like, oh yeah, this team gonna be nasty, and then they lose all these games, and it's just like, what is this?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I never thought they should have been ranked at number 8. I never did, because I think, the top 10 initially at the beginning of the year shouldn't be based off of how many 5 stars you get, how many players returned. I really do think it should be based off of how you finished last season. And Illinois really, they were good, but they weren't top 10 worthy in my opinion, and I think they showed that. So
yeah. And then obviously this game might not involve top 10 teams, but I don't know if you saw that UCLA and Stanford game last night, but that game was bonkers.
I didn't see it, but I think I do know what happened. I didn't see it though.
It was back and forth, and I thought UCLA had won it when Tiger Campbell, went in for the and-1 to give UCLA a 1-point lead. But man, Stanford drove down, no timeouts, got their shot blocked with .8 left on the clock, inbound under the basket, and Chris De Silva, leading scorer in the Pac-12, was wide open under the hoop, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you cannot leave that guy open in the paint. Man, that was a tough loss for UCLA because they were unbeaten in the Pac-12, believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm sure it's that's interesting to hear as well, because UCLA, they've again been an inconsistent team for forever. These past 3-4 years they've been somewhat decent, but also pretty terrible at times. So
it seems like the only consistent teams in college basketball right now are Baylor, Villanova, maybe Villanova, and Gonzaga. Other than that, you go down to spots. Iowa, Texas, I feel like they're going to trip up eventually, but I'm here for them being consistent. Tennessee, they just got clapped by Florida. Michigan is Michigan. Houston, I don't know. Kansas, they're sliding. Wisconsin sliding. Creighton sliding. Texas Tech, it's like all these teams they have some points of inconsistency, and I get it, it's college basketball, but man, that's bonkers.
Yeah, we're about to see St. Louis win March Madness this year. It's crazy.
Dude, imagine. I would not comprehend college basketball anymore.
It is. It's unfortunate because you see these like Cinderella teams, Loyola Chicago, Michigan. You ruined every single college basketball fan was rooting for Loyola Chicago, and you ruined everyone's dream. So Michigan, that's why you'll never be good. But it seems like the fairy tale teams, the Cinderella teams, they never win. They get to that Final Four, but they can never win.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does. And I was really looking forward to Loyola Chicago, and I'm just looking back. Michigan did not have that good of a chance against Villanova.
No. And that proved. That proved.
Man, that I was so mad because I'm thinking, man, Loyola Chicago would have gave these boys a better fight.
Dude, and they were gaining all the momentum, all the buzzer beaters, all the clutch shots. They were a good team. They really were.
Mm-hmm. But man, it's just of all teams to rob us of a Cinderella story. From your perspective,
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Michigan. Everyone's turning on Michigan because they beat America's favorite team. So Michigan, that's why no one likes you. Obviously your fans and quite a bit of people.
Yeah, let me see them get to that level again. Let Loyola Chicago get to that level again. Oh my gosh. I might have to flip my recruitment to Loyola Chicago.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
Then you could say your team got to the Final Four.
Yeah, hey, I wouldn't complain about that. I would not complain about that. I want to shift my attention to the NBA and complain about COVID really starting to get on this league again. Watch the Washington Wizards. When is the last time they've been on the court? It feels like forever.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that as well. It's like Michigan State. They haven't played in forever. Who knows when they'll play? They have like 7 people who have COVID, which I don't know when they're ever going to return. Like I said in the previous episode, I think that the NBA is really good because they're implementing a lot of precautions and a lot of things that I guess are necessary to run a season. But yikes, these teams, they're getting it, and it's definitely canceling a few games, which could cause for concern.
Yeah, and you know what? It sucks, man, because I mean they're scheduled. The Wizards are scheduled to play the Spurs tonight, so that's good. But man, I don't know how they're. I mean, they're gonna have to play some really quick games to catch up in the standings. I mean, not that they would make a playoff push because I mean this is not really a playoff team that we're dealing with. But you know what? If they have to get to 72 games, I mean, hey, that's why they built the second half, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows, man? I mean, very, I mean, interesting time in the NBA. I mean, this is the time where their Saturday primetime games are starting to kick in because there's no more NFL on Saturdays and stuff like that, and it's starting to shift over to more of a basketball season, all this and that. And I mean, for good reason too. The NBA, I mean, these middle of the pack teams are starting to rise up, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it, bro.
Yeah, at least the Pistons have won 2 games since I mentioned that they were undefeated in in the year 2021. Hey, it's all right though. Hey, they're tanking for Cade, as I said a few minutes ago. It's kind of it shouldn't be surprising, but Jeremy Grant, his streak of 20 plus point games ended last night at 14, and it's crazy because he had 14 consecutive 20 plus point games. Who the next most 20 point plus games is? Who has him?
Andre Drummond?
LeBron at 13. Jeremy Grant did it in 14 straight. That's impressive. Give him the most
you're talking about
player.
Yeah, you know what? That wouldn't be too bad. I mean, we'll see how the rest of the season pans out, but I mean, yeah, he is a front runner right now.
Hey, he's averaging more than LeBron, averaging more than a lot of players in the NBA right now. I think he's averaging like 25.7. So, hey.
Yeah, you definitely got to keep him long term if he keeps doing this.
I hope so.
You would hope. But you know what? We talked about Andre Drummond. He seems to be living a life a little bit right now. Cavs are looking, I don't know, man, looking real good.
It's weird.
This is, I mean, Colin Sexton and them boys are starting to kind of gel together now, starting to come together. And with back-to-back wins over the Brooklyn Nets, man, that was an eye opener for me. That was definitely an eye opener. It was like, allow us to introduce ourselves from the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. We are the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, after beating the Nets in their debut of their big 3, that was impressive. Colin Sexton, he's good, and I saw an analyst, I forgot who it was, say that he'd rather have Colin Sexton over players like Trae Young, and I can't remember who the other player was, but he definitely put Colin Sexton on a high, projection. I mean, who knows? Colin Sexton, he does look very good. I mean, I'm not surprised because in college at Alabama, he was good. He was really, really good. Even in high school, I remember watching his high school highlights. I knew he was going to be good. It's crazy, though. I mean, it's finally turning around for him. His first few years, pretty meh. I mean, they weren't too exciting, but this year, he's played well, and who knows? Maybe he'll make the Cavs a playoff team without LeBron. I never thought I'd say it.
Yeah, that would be something to see, wouldn't it?
Dude, I can't. When was the last time they made the playoffs without LeBron? Has it happened before?
You got to go back to the '90s when they hit the only thing I can remember was when Jordan hit that buzzer beater on him.
Yeah, dude, it's weird. The Cavs. I don't know. Maybe they're good. Maybe they're not. Who knows?
We'll see. Hopefully we can see they are legitimate. I mean, there's not many other teams in the East that are really legit. I mean, Cavs are 8-7, Hawks are 8-7, Knicks are 8-9. The Bulls are a half game back of the playoffs. That feels wrong to say. And some notable teams that are really struggling. I mean, the Raptors and the Heat, I didn't expect them to struggle like this. I really didn't.
Yeah,
didn't.
I think a lot of it goes to the Heat's, I wouldn't say COVID problems, but, Jimmy Butler hasn't played in a while, which is odd. Tyler Hero has been out for a while as well, so two of their best players on the team have been out for a while, I think due to COVID tracing and also a little bit of injuries. Nonetheless, a lot of teams are getting hit hard by COVID injuries or whatnot. I think that's why we see random teams up in the top 5. I mean, I would expect the Bucks to be undefeated by now, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, the Bucks, are they going to be good? I do think this is their best team in years, but I don't know.
At least they're most, the most
well-rounded.
You would think that, okay, you got a really good team around Giannis this time. Got shooters, and you still got the presence of Giannis in the paint. I mean, you would think that it would have to click together sometime soon, right?
I don't know. I mean, you would think. I mean, you have the back-to-back MVP on your team, and you still can't, prove that you're the best team in the East. So,
yeah, you're right about that. But you know what? I want to shift my attention to the West. Because, the hottest team in the NBA right now is my Utah Jazz. Why do I say my Utah Jazz? Well, Donovan Mitchell's my favorite player in the league. And you know what? He's showing why this team is, we're going to have another one of those Rams-Saints situations where you say they're overrated, Jonathan. But I'm like, what? No, they got the pieces. And I'm here to say that Utah has the pieces to do something.
Okay, I was gonna ask, what are those pieces gonna be used for? I mean, are we talking finals? I would hope not. I would hope not.
I would hope so.
I don't think they're finals built. I really don't. I mean,
really?
No. What have they done in the playoffs to really prove that they can beat a team like, I would even say the Bucks, but how about the Lakers? If they go first round, do you think they could beat the Lakers?
Well, yeah.
Because you're always going to have to get over the Lakers in the West. No matter where you're at, it's always going to be the Lakers some way or another, whether it be before the playoffs start and you still have to, win a close game against the Lakers. Who knows? I don't think anyone is built to beat the Lakers. It's crazy. But the Jazz, it's interesting. Did you see the interview that Shaq did with Donovan Mitchell?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. You know what? Shaq is becoming a goofball right now, and I'm loving it.
The TNT crew has had some very odd interviews this year. I mean, starting off with the KD interview, Charles Barkley asked a question, and KD gave a one-word answer, and they both stared at each other for like 50 seconds, most awkward thing in the world. And then, obviously, Shaq and Donovan Mitchell. Shaq literally said, "You're not good, and you won't be able to do anything in the playoffs or when it matters." And then Donovan Mitchell felt some way. I mean, understandably so. I mean, you just got called out by, one of the best players in NBA history saying you're not good. The TNT crew, they've had some very odd interviews.
Yeah, slide me in there, man, because it's getting pretty nasty.
Are you going to take, whose spot would you take?
Kenny can stay. Ernie can stay. It's between Shaq and Charles.
Whoa, taking out the former players.
Yeah. I think Kenny was a former player too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Rockets.
But I'd have to take out freaking Shaq, man. Because the root of Charles Barkley's, tension comes from Shaq. Like that, it's like, you can say the same about Shaq, and but man, those two are fireballs against each other, man. I don't know how they got these two to work together in the same studio almost every single day. I don't get it. That's especially after what they did in the 90s. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I like Charles because he keeps it real. He's going to say what he needs to say. I guess Shaq will too, but Shaq sometimes does a little too much as he calls, Donovan Mitchell bad. But nonetheless, you're talking about the West. It's interesting. We got a few teams there. The Suns, kind of streaky a little bit, sometimes, they've been on good streaks and then bad streaks, as we've seen. They've had some tough losses as well, but who knows?
Yeah, and also the Mavs and the Nuggets are starting to kind of get back to form a little bit too.
Yeah.
And I mean, as it stands now, I mean, Lakers Mavericks first round. I could easily see an upset.
Future versus present.
Yeah, that would be some. People were talking about Luka Doncic becoming a Laker eventually. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
I don't see it. I don't see that happening, honestly. Usually, you don't see an outside player like that. Like, kind of, I would call Luka sneakily good. I think everyone knows that he can be a potential superstar. I mean, if he's not already. But usually, you see those types of players, and they usually stay loyal. I mean, you got like Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, all those types of players. I would consider Luka in that same range, whereas you get like the greats like LeBron, Kobe. They might. I mean, Kobe stayed in a Lakers uniform for 20 years, but it's. I mean, I hope he doesn't go to the Lakers. Is what I'm trying to say.
No.
I like Luka. I think it'd be cool for him to bring another championship back to Dallas and anywhere he decides to go. Pistons would welcome you, but obviously he's not going to go to Detroit. I do hope he stays in Dallas though. I think he's a good player. That's a good place for him to succeed.
Yeah, they got a squad building, man. Maybe one more piece they can contend for real. But as for right now, I mean, hey, they're getting there, and I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I've never seen. I won't say I've never seen, but obviously my NBA knowledge, my NBA attention span only spans through the 2015 NBA Finals. So, I haven't seen a lot of these teams be good like firsthand through my eyes. So it's good to see these teams, like the Nuggets and the Mavs. I really love the Nuggets and the Mavericks. Those two teams.
I agree.
Of all the teams, I really love those teams.
Just wait until Memphis gets Jaren Jackson Jr. back. Hey, Xavier Tillman has played well. He has played real well. He's played a good center position for Memphis. I like my boy X.
That's kind of a steal.
Oh yeah,
to get Xavier
100%.
Tillman. Because that I mean, even if you list him as a backup, that's a very good backup center.
Yeah, very very good. I mean, he'll forever how many minutes he gets, he's gonna give it his all. I mean, what we've seen, I think he almost got like a triple double in his first start. So he's played well. Definitely gonna be very productive in that backup situation or starting whenever, because he has started a few games this season. So I like what they're doing down there. I do like Memphis as well.
Yeah, and you know what? It's tough because I really want Golden State to go to the playoffs. I really do. I really just want to see them in the playoffs.
It took him a little bit. It took him a little bit to get going this year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! I just remembered. Did you see in the press conference where the reporter called Steph Curry by his real first name?
Yeah. Wardell.
It definitely sounded like he just wanted to say Wardell, because the question he asked, how is Kelly Oubre so good at putback dunks? That is one of the most random questions.
But speaking of Steph Curry, would you call him the MVP right now? I would.
The MVP?
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what?
As of right now.
Without him, the Warriors would be where they were last year. You know what? For that, Curry is still doing Curry things.
And he's playing well, real well.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead. And he's got to at least be in the conversation.
Oh yeah, got to be a front runner for sure.
And we want to talk about Luka and Jokic and AD.
Joel Embiid.
I mean,
gross.
I don't think either one of those Lakers are going to win MVP because they have each other.
What about Joel Embiid? I mean,
oh,
it's gross. I don't like Joel Embiid one bit, but
really,
I hate him, dude. When he was with when Andre Drummond was with the Pistons, every single game they'd play each other, they'd both go at it. Joel Embiid, he flops constantly. It's so annoying. I mean, he's good and all, but he's annoying. He is so annoying. Least favorite player in the league by far.
Oh my gosh, really? I didn't know you disliked Joel Embiid this much.
Bro, he's a flop. I mean, if you are going to be dominant in the league, come on. Him and Giannis are annoying to me, too. Just because they're good. They're good. They run through the East. But Joel Embiid, him and Andre, when they would have those matchups, those would be so painfully awful to watch. I mean, you would see Andre go up for a layup and then accidentally bump Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid would flop to the ground, and then Andre Drummond would get ejected. That happened like three times probably. Joel Embiid, I mean, he does what he has to do, but even just look at Karl Anthony Towns. I think we can agree on something, Carl. Joel Embiid, not fun, not fun to watch. Good player, but he's annoying. I'm referencing Karl Anthony Towns because he put him in a chokehold last year.
Yeah, I saw. Oh my gosh! But you know what? I mean, we can't really talk that much about the Sixers. I mean, best record in the East. 12-5.
Yeah, only beat the Pistons by like 3 last night. No, kidding.
Yeah,
they did. They only beat them by like 3 or 4, but oh well.
Yeah, it is what it is, right?
Hey, the Pistons have only lost by 10 or more points once this season. 10 or more points once this season. And that was to the Bucks. Every other game, it's been within 10.
That's an interesting stat.
Competitive.
They're competitive. They're losing, but they're competitive.
Yeah.
Very much like how the Detroit Tigers were a couple of years.
And maybe the Red Wings this year. And I wouldn't say the Lions because the Lions have gotten blown out a few times, but nonetheless, go on.
I guess no different with the Pistons. With terms of that, I mean, only difference is they kind of tend to lose the games more often than win them. But
just say they're bad. They're 3-13. They are bad. They are terrible. By far the worst team in the NBA.
Worse than the T-Wolves. Well,
100%,
okay, yeah, they lost.
100%.
Dang, I don't get it. Hopefully, it'll get better. Times are changing. Especially with the Lions. We'll see what they can do. Bring life back into the Motor City. We'll see. I mean, we'll just need. They just need a domino effect,
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, I really do too, man. For the sake of your fandom, you got to get something, man. I want to talk about the NHL extensively because there's not many blockbuster trades that I see, in the NHL very often. But the Jackets and the Maple Leafs, they got some action, huh?
Yeah, Dubois. That's the best player for the Jackets. I'm pretty sure that's their best player, and it's funny that he requested a trade. I don't know if you remember, but it was because of him and his coaches, John Tortorella. They kind of had I wouldn't say an altercation, but I would just say Dubois got kind of yelled at on the bench, and then I guess took a exception to that and requested to get traded during the bubble last year during the playoffs, and they were trying to find a suitor, and they finally got one in the Jets, and the Jets gave up quite a lot of pieces to get this young, I guess, potential superstar. But hey, if it works, it works. I like the Jets. I really like their franchise. I hope they can get a winner.
Yeah, I mean, I did a little, looking up on these guys, and I'm just like, because I didn't know much about, obviously, Dubois and Liney.
Yeah, Laney, he's a good player. He is a very good player. Probably one of the Jets' best players as well. So, like I said, they gave up a ton to get Dubois. So,
yeah, I mean, this is basically like a star swap.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if it works, it works. That's all I gotta say. I mean, if you're gonna give up that many prospects, you better hope it works.
I guess you can make that point because I mean, I don't know. The Jackets and the Maple Leafs, I mean, we'll have to wait and see how their seasons, end. But, I mean, it's not looking all that bad for the Blue Jackets. I mean, they're tied with the Lightning for the lead in the Central. And as for the Maple Leafs, well, I mean, third in a very tough North Division, which can we just add to the fact that the Montreal Canadiens are 4-0-2? Can we just recognize that for a second?
I'm not surprised one bit. Ever since I started watching hockey, I remember the Canadians were like 16-0 or somewhere around there. They lose they lose some majority games in the second half of the season and they don't make the playoffs. And then year after year, they start off undefeated. They start off real well, can never finish. So that stat does not surprise me at all. Canadians very, I wouldn't say inconsistent, but they start off well and they just finish terribly.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely watch that. You see them undefeated right now. 2 months down the line, they're gonna be below 500, guarantee it.
Okay. I'll keep it in mind. They're 4-2 now. If you count out the OT losses, we'll just go by win-loss. 4 wins and 2 losses, but the most points in the league, which I mean that's weird, isn't it? Yeah. I'm excited, dude, because I really want to see how they do this playoff format, because obviously we know the top 4 teams in the division get in, and believe it or not, the Red Wings are in a four team race at 4 points, including with my Hurricanes.
That's kind of funny. Hey, Bobby Ryan, great addition to the Red Wings, and he had 4 goals in the Red Wings' first 3 games, which was a franchise record. Bobby Ryan, he's killing it. Great addition for the Red Wings. I hope they keep him. I really do. I hope he can also, hey, maybe the Red Wings would be in the playoffs. I've never thought I would see it for, at least another couple years. But, hey, they're playing well. I mean, obviously, they're lost to the Blackhawks. Gross. But other than that, they have played pretty well, pretty competitive also.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, with the Central Division, after the Lightning, maybe the Blue Jackets, we'll see. I don't know.
Have the Stars even played a game yet?
No, they just hit the ice. They got to win, though, but it just hit the ice. We'll see how they catch up. Maybe that's another contender we'll have to deal with. But other than that, okay, the most ideal winners in that division is Tampa Bay, Columbus, Dallas, and Nashville. Those are the most ideal.
Nashville?
I don't know.
I'd put Carolina up there.
I don't know. It's like you can flip flop between those two. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't name many players on that Nashville team, and they really haven't been too. I wouldn't say dominant. I mean, you've seen what the Canes have done. They have all those young pieces, many more that I couldn't name, but they have a ton of players. They've made the playoffs these past few years. I do think that they could definitely make a top 3 in the division for sure.
Okay, top 3. Okay, that'll give me a little bit of optimism.
Definitely, you gotta. I mean, the Canes, they are a very good team.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it and run with it.
Okay.
Take it and run.
Remember this episode.
Yeah, I'll be wearing my Hurricanes jersey in the future, wondering, where did this playoff appearance come from? Oh wait, you said it back in January, way back.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, man. I want to ask about the Eastern Division though, because it's obviously tight, but it's unpredictable because, I mean, the Capitals, they're on top, but obviously they're having COVID problems. And then, I mean, the Bruins are, right there at second, and the Flyers, Islanders, Penguins are trying to prove that, they still got it. They can give Sidney Crosby one more Ben Roethlisberger type ride. I don't know, man. This is intriguing. This Eastern Division is like one of these teams is going to have to be out.
I feel bad for, Buffalo, because Buffalo's never been good at all. It's sad. I mean, I believe they made the finals against Dallas in the early 2000s. Sad history for Buffalo. I hope they can, get back on their feet. They're currently 1-3, 2 points, or sorry, 3 points. I hope they can do well for the rest of the season. Come on, Buffalo. Also, I'm not 2 against the Devils. I like the Devils. For some reason got some Devils pajama pants. I used to have like a Devils hat as well. So I guess go New Jersey. And then I would like to see Philly, or maybe even, the Isles back in there. They were very good last year in the playoffs, especially. I don't know, just anything but Boston and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, though. I mean, it's like black and gold is always the indication of, okay, that's a team I don't like.
If you see BOS, that team's going to be, pretty historic, pretty good. Don't like the Bruins. Don't like Pittsburgh. Both annoying. Both too successful. Hey, at least I can always say that the Red Wings have the most Stanley Cups in North America.
Yeah.
12.
I ain't thinking about that. Wow.
Wait. I can't even. One hand, 2 hands. Can't fit them all.
What about including your toes?
Then I could count them all.
Oh dang! It takes the toes.
It takes
Okay,
the toes. That's when there's a lot. But hey, need to catch up to Montreal, which probably will never happen.
Yeah, we'll definitely see about that. Montreal.
Yeah, the Red Wings are going to need to win the next 12 Stanley Cups to even catch up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. But yeah, overall, pretty interesting NHL season. I'm liking some of the games. I've seen some close games, a lot of overtime games, a lot of shootouts. I had almost forgot that in the regular season, it's a 3-on-3 overtime, and you go to shootouts. This is the first time I'm starting to really put the NHL regular season into my repertoire of watching television programs and stuff like that, because I'm really used to watching playoff hockey, man.
Hey, yeah.
I'm really used to seeing the 20-minute 5-on-5 endless sudden death stuff like that, and just to see the 3-on-3 OT. Them fast breaks are lit.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely more exciting. I would 100%. I like how they implemented that. I would even question putting it into the playoffs as well, because just imagine the excitement. It's crazy. It really is. 3-on-3. Like you said, the fast breaks. So many almost breakaways. Most of the time, it's so electric. And then when that goalie makes that big save in a 1-on-1. Nothing beats that, and I like it. I really do.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it definitely gives me a very entertaining game to watch, especially because I have a team alert for the Blackhawks, even though I don't support the Blackhawks like that. Because I mean, if they have a closed game, it'll give me a closed game alert, and I'll watch that closed game automatically. And I'm just like, okay, let me see how this game ends. And I really am in it for the crunch time situations, man, because I want to see stuff happen, man.
Dude, yeah, and hey, I've seen a lot of fights as well, and I like it. Hey, the NHL, they got some COVID problems on their hands. They can't afford fighting. I mean, you've seen in the NBA, people can't even trade jerseys, can't even high five or do whatever they do after the games. Imagine fighting. NHL is so wild. I think everyone should watch because it gets crazy. It gets crazy.
Yeah, I mean, hockey is really, literally centered around contact. But, I mean, obviously, shooting a puck in a goal is the main objective. But, man, it takes a lot to do that, doesn't it?
Sure does. Hey, if you have to throw hands to, get to your main goal, hey, that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do.
I see what you did there. Yeah, I definitely see what you did there, man. Okay, let's get into MVPs and LVPs. Who is your MVP this week?
I'm excited for this one. Sorry to, all the Irish listeners here, boy. Conor McGregor, yikes. He got knocked out is what I'm trying to say. My MVP is Dustin Poirier. Overall, fantastic fight. He definitely, it's been 6 years since their first fight. This was the rematch. It was about time. Dustin Poirier, definitely a well-improved fighter since then. He he used a different game plan this time around, which was smart because Conor McGregor was expecting him to, be more of on the offensive side. Instead, Dustin Poirier decided to go with a wrestling tactic, also used the leg kicks to his advantage. Ultimately, basically destroyed the leg of Conor McGregor in the first round, ultimately got him up against the fence in the second round, knocked him out using boxing. Really, really impressive stuff from Dustin Poirier. I think he's going to be a superstar. I don't know. Is this the end for Conor McGregor? I don't know. But all I got to say is he's very entertaining to watch. His fights are always electric. I hope he continues. I think he will. But, him and the UFC, they have a duo unmatched. I really do hope he continues for the sake of the corporation.
Yeah, because one of the advertisements for his return, one of the songs was it was Eminem, and it was a really catchy beat. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is perfect for his personality. It's just like.
And it's funny because you talk about his personality. During fight week, he was humble. I've never seen him like this before. He was saying thank you for the opportunity to Justin Poirier. They were shaking hands. Even Conor McGregor, he stayed around after getting knocked out to do an after fight interview. So new personality for Conor McGregor after getting choked out by Khabib Nurmagomedov. So. Who knows? Maybe Conor McGregor is now humble. He's a different guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not as notorious.
No. I see what you did there. Nice. Notorious Conor McGregor. That's his nickname.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it was so odd. It didn't feel, it felt like Conor McGregor because it's Conor McGregor, but it didn't feel, something tells me it didn't feel like Conor McGregor in the press conferences. I'm used to seeing him have some real interesting antics in that press conference room, man, doing something. But you know what? I like this humble side of him.
I do too. He seems like a nice guy.
Picture a guy like Jalen Ramsey on the field, running his mouth, and then coming out and complimenting his opposing receiver like, oh yeah, dude's one of the best in the game. Blah 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 blah.
This never happened. That's why it's weird. That's why it's so weird that Conor McGregor is finally, humble. It's weird. It really is. But hey, I like it. Like you said, I think it's cool. But if he starts to lose after being humble, he might have to, grow his hair back and then actually talk some stuff to be successful in the UFC again. But I just thought Dustin Poirier was my MVP because of what he did to Conor McGregor. Very impressive stuff and very, very bright future. Obviously 32 years old, but I definitely think he may be in his prime right now.
Yeah, scored a pretty nice upset if you even want to call it an upset.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hey. You're right, man. This whole MMA is starting to be on the rise, man.
It is fun. Even my mom watched, and my grandparents have even started to talk to me about it. That's why it's on the rise. Everyone is getting into it now. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, everyone is getting into UFC and MMA, the sport of MMA. It's fun to watch. It really is. It's entertaining.
That's the benefit of being the first sport back during the pandemic.
Exactly. First sport back, and now everyone's watching.
Oh yeah, even got them on ABC.
Yeah, for the first time a combat sport has been on ABC in 21 years.
That's crazy. You see, that's
I didn't even know that was a thing. But I asked my my grandfather. He was like, "Oh yeah, they used to have boxing fights on all the time. Mike Tyson, all the boxing legends used to fight on ABC, which is crazy that now the UFC is back and combat sports is back in, I guess, popularity."
Yeah, that's amazing. That is awesome. But now for my MVP, this is also awesome, at least in my eyes. So there's this girl named Naz Hillman. She plays for the Michigan women's basketball team. And I was just scrolling through channels, trying to, just watch random games. And I see number 11 Michigan, number 17 Ohio State. I'm like, okay, this game automatically draws interest because I like me some top 20 college basketball matchups, men's and women's. I'm like, okay, let me see what this game is made of. And Ohio State, I mean, the game was pretty good. It had a pretty great finish. First three quarters, it was like, felt like Ohio State was gonna win, but then Michigan went on like a 9-0 run, something old run, and it was like, this team is really starting to storm back. And you know what? It was mainly because of Naz Hillman. Naz Hillman was going crazy. I was watching her in the game, dude. She was dominating in the paint. I mean, them Buckeyes were getting bodied, bro. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. If her teammate missed a three, she was always there for the offensive rebound and the putback. And I'm just like, that's how dominant she was. Every time they missed a shot, she got the rebound, took a dribble, put it up and put it back in. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this girl is going crazy. And bro, I love seeing the Michigan bench go crazy because I mean, when the girls, they do, they get strong plays in the paint. They get so excited, and I'm just like, yo, that is so. That gets me pumped up, man. It's just like, oh yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, let's go. And it's crazy. And you know what? She dropped 50.
I saw
she
that.
Dropped 50. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And obviously, dude, that was the first time in Michigan basketball history, men's and women's, that somebody had dropped 50 points. She has the most points ever scored in a Michigan basketball game.
I can believe it. I mean, it takes a lot to drop 50 in college basketball, whether men's or women's. That's impressive.
Yeah, dude. And then she had 16 rebounds to go with it. So a 50-point double.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. And, I mean, yeah, it wasn't a losing effort, though, but still a great game. Ohio State just made the shots when they needed to. Michigan actually held them to 0 points through the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter or something like that.
Hey, you were talking about, lopsided quarters and halves last week.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, dude. It was just like, and it was just a great game overall, too, because Michigan was undefeated. And, Ohio State was getting, up there. They had just snapped Iowa's home streak of 42 straight wins. And
Wow.
It was pretty exciting. People may not know much about it, but it's pretty exciting when it gets good.
Yeah. I definitely get that. I do tune in sometimes during March Madness, maybe the second, maybe even the the Final Four. But yeah, I definitely get that. Hey, sports in general, no matter what it is, you can always find excitement in it.
Yeah, and I definitely found some in this. I mean, I had a joy watching the game. I mean, the fourth quarter, the last 3-4 minutes was back and forth. I mean, they were trading layups, just throwing haymakers like. It was fun to watch. But yeah, Naz Hillman gets my MVP for setting that Michigan record.
I like it. My LVP right now. My LVP. It has to be said. I mean, not too much to say on it because it's pretty self-explanatory. As much as I've liked what the Detroit Lions are doing right now, they have to be my LVP because they have wasted Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford, all three of their careers down the drain. I don't know how that's possible. 3 Hall of Famers, in my opinion. 3 Hall of Famers. It's terrible. I mean, not many teams have the luxury of drafting Hall of Famers. The Lions have drafted 3, and none of them have been able to really do anything. I mean, only Barry Sanders has a playoff win. Every other one hasn't.
Is Matthew Stafford really a Hall of Famer? No, I'm just playing.
I would say so, in my opinion. I mean, it's up for a debate. A lot of people may say otherwise, but I definitely think so. From what he's done, all the records, he does need a playoff win to solidify his resume, though.
At the very least, right?
Yeah, but self-explanatory. Nothing too much to say about it. It's just the Detroit Lions for wasting 3 Hall of Famers' careers.
Dang. At first, I'm thinking, what could possibly, of all the LVPs, of all the possible LVPs, this franchise is the one you're targeting, and then listening to that, it's just like, oh, they did waste Barry Sanders and Megatron. Dang.
Yep. Sad.
Dang.
It's sad.
Yikes. I mean, hopefully Hopefully, when DeAndre Swift goes into Hall of Fame, hopefully they won't waste his career.
Oh, I hope so. Hey, Anthony Lynn, he's big on that run game. Hopefully he
Oh,
can, DeAndre Swift can get there. But nonetheless, Lions are career wasters. So let's move on to your LVP of the week.
I gotta go with the Brooklyn Nets, man. You already know about my perception about the James Harden trade. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was very bad for the Nets because of how much they gave up. And you know what? It blew up in their face, bruh. You gave up Jared Allen.
Already blew up in their face?
I'm sorry. I don't have faith in the Nets long term because I just don't know about their defense. Okay, if they make trades down the line and they make moves and they they gel into defense, okay, fine. Make me eat my words. I want you to win the finals because you never won it before. But man, oh my gosh. Colin Sexton. And I'm not saying Colin Sexton's a bad player. He is by far a great player. He's starting to, become a rising star, especially on the Cavs. But man, you have KD, Kyrie, and James Harden drop the combined 90-something points, just like you expected to, and you still lost because you could not guard Colin Sexton when it mattered the most.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry.
I get it. I get your choice. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, when nerves get tight, can those three guys carry all the scoring? Because you never know in the playoffs. People choke, people step up. You never know. But man, I did not like giving up Jared Allen. I really did not like that move at all, because it blew up in their face on Friday when they got bodied in the paint. And you're asking DeAndre Jordan to lock up Andre Drummond and Jared Allen. That's not easy to do, especially when you have to get Jordan on the bench.
Yeah. Hey, that's fair. I get your decision, but I hope you're wrong.
I hope I am too. You know what? I'm rooting for the Nets because I want to see the Brooklyn Nets win the championship.
Hey, that's fair.
Especially beat the Lakers.
Hey, that's fair. I get that.
But yeah, that's my LVP, the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe a lot of people might scratch their heads a little bit, but you know what? You lost back-to-back to the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. Get humbled. Hey, if I'm thinking of front runners for teams or people that can win an LVP and an MVP, it's the Brooklyn Nets.
Hey, and the Detroit Lions, but that's for another day.
Yeah, race to the finish line, right? All right, buddy, let's get into some trivia. So last week, I asked when was the last time that both the AFC and NFC conference championship games were rematches of games from earlier in the season.
I think I said 13 years ago. So that is my guess.
It's funny because you are well off. It happened last year.
I think I said that in the episode too. I was like, for all I know, it could be happened last year. And then you said it was rare, and then I was like, oh, probably not that. So hey, that's funny. That is funny.
It's pretty. Yeah, it is pretty funny because it happened. It's happened 3 years in a row. 2018. The Patriots and the Chiefs in that AFC Championship. Yeah, we remember Brady winning in overtime, very luckily, might I add. And that was a rematch of the absolute barn burner that was when they met in Foxborough. Brady versus Mahomes Part 1, when they had that game-winning field goal in like the 4-yard line or something. It's just like, I was like, hey, they're gonna make this and win.
Yeah, you are right about that. Hey, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised because I guess they're both. Teams should be in the same, obviously, AFC, NFC. They probably face each other at least once a year, so it makes sense.
Yeah. But the fact that it's happened 3 years in a row, that's crazy.
That is.
That's crazy.
Maybe we'll get a fourth year in a row next year.
Yeah, and then obviously 2018 NFC, Rams Saints. We already know the pass interference, but Saints beat them earlier. And then, last year, Packers absolutely had no chance against the 49ers twice. And then we all know, Titans, Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs came back and won the AFC Championship. But you know what? The Titans, they can still say they blocked a game-tying field goal and robbed the Chiefs of victory.
That is right. You are right.
And to think that blocked field goal sent the Chiefs to 6-4. Like, imagine the Chiefs at 6-4 again. That doesn't sit right. They were 6-4. Oh my gosh! And that time was so weird. Chiefs were 6-4. The Titans with that win got to 5-5. Wow, they've come a long way. And then obviously we know this season, Bills, Chiefs, and Packers, Bucks. Yeah, we already know that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting because I mean, three years in a row, conference championship games have been rematches. That's lit. Hey, you never know. Maybe the Packers and the Bucks can have that kind of Titans-Ravens rivalry to it. You never know.
Maybe.
You never know, man. I'm here for it, though.
Hey, the retirement home rivalry.
Yeah, I want to see the snowfall today, man.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, dude. That's my trivia question. What's yours?
Well, on the topic of, Matthew Stafford, and it's been a sad 24 hours for Lions fans around, the country and around the world. But back on Matthew Stafford, my question is, all right, Matthew Stafford, he's started 167 games in his NFL career, right? Mm-hmm. In those games, how many times was he accompanied by a 100-plus yard rusher? This one will blow your mind, guarantee it.
I got 167 games.
And hey, usually you think 101 yard or 100 plus yard rushers are, kind of frequent. Well, the Lions haven't had many good running backs. I mean, just look at the past decade.
I know Kerryon Johnson did it once, at least once.
So you got one there.
I've seen it live. I saw it live. So I know it happened once.
Think about it, he had like Reggie Bush on his team. Reggie Bush was really good. Did Swift do it this year? Who knows?
I don't know.
This
Javin Best, maybe? I don't know. Oh my gosh. That's tough. I mean, I know they've had a drought like that when it comes to rushing, but dang. I don't know, man.
167 games in his career. How many times was he accompanied by a 100 plus yard rusher? It's crazy.
I'll say 10.
The stat will blow your mind.
I'll guess 10 and wait for next week. Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's a reasonable guess because of how bad the Lions have, been.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, man, we had a lot to talk about. Even though the conference championship games, I mean, right now as we're recording on a Sunday morning, even though those games haven't, been started yet, we've still had a ton to talk about, especially, with the NFL and the coaching carousels and off-season moves and the rumors and the trades and all this mayhem, man. You love to see it, especially since it's snowing.
Yeah, I mean, these next few weeks we aren't going to have much football to talk about until the Super Bowl, but hey, it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, hey, I get to say January Jotham for a couple more episodes, so yeah. Hey, I'm loving it.
Hey, yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, but hey, same time next week.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Although I probably won't be highlighting the Pro Bowl, like I usually would. But hey, that's for next week. If you guys enjoy Top of the Standings, give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or whatever streaming device you're using to stream Top of the Standings. Give us a like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. us that follow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, the big three social media platforms. This has been episode 24. Holy smokes. They're up top of the standings, and we will see you guys next week for the Super Bowl when it's set. I can't wait. Peace.